The curtain is rapidly coming down on the current Legislative Assembly, with the election build-up set to begin in the coming weeks. Already names are being thrown into the ring and manifestos drawn up by prospective candidates, but what are some of the key items they will need to be looking at if they do take office? One significant talking point will be oil, with UK oil and gas company Rockhopper Exploration confident of a final investment decision on the Sea Lion project being made this year. It will be the Falkland Islands' first offshore oil development and could see 730 million barrels extracted, with the first phase targeting 170 million barrels. With the Falkland Islands in the midst of a housing shortage, one of the main questions over it has been where workers will stay when in the area. Operating company Navitas have said they will build a hotel to house them, but some people still have questions over the resources they will need and the socio-economic impacts that could have on the community. That aforementioned housing shortage is another problem many want addressing. At the last Housing Committee meeting back in September, the local housing application list had 71 entries, whilst 12 tenants had requested transfers to other properties. There are also concerns that those arriving from overseas to work on the government's major capital projects will need places to stay. The government have begun work on 111 new houses on Sappers Hill, approximately 54 of which will be government rentals and 57 privately owned. They are also discussing a new housing and tenancy policy, ensuring properties are given to those who need them. All in all, housing will be quite a big topic for new members to consider. Telecoms is likely to be another key talking point. At this moment in time, the consultation into a proposed Starlink licence and the VSAT investigation and enforcement policy has ended, and the communications regulator is close to agreeing a licence for Starlink to operate in the Falklands. But with Shaw's current contract expiring at the end of 2027, there will need to be some thought given to any future telecoms model that the Falklands could adapt, and whether there is a place for both providers and perhaps others too. Salmon farming too will be up for discussion. The consultation period has long since ended, but it remains a divisive subject. Whilst many on the islands recognise the economic boost that the industry would bring, through a GDP boost, job creation and diversification of the Falklands fishing industry, they still feel the environmental risks to the islands are just too great for the proposal to go any further. In the run-up to the 2021 election, all 8 of the current MLAs said they would either not support it or would let the community have the final say, and the new assembly will have to decide for themselves how to take the matter forward. Staying on the environmental theme, renewable energy is also likely to be a hot topic. Currently, 30% of the energy in Stanley and 90% of the supply going to farms in Camp comes from clean sources, but there is a part of Camp in the Fox Bay area owned by the government that doesn't yet, something one MLA recently labelled an embarrassment. And yet a plan to introduce renewable energy to that area was recently postponed due to a lack of funding being available in the 2025-26 capital budget. The Environmental Strategy 2021 to 2040 set out the government's intention to produce 100% of Stanley's electrical supply by 2050, and new members will need to work out if and how that can be implemented. So those are some of the main issues new members will be facing when they take office, and there are others like immigration, education and sovereignty that will need an equal amount of attention. How each candidate addresses these areas in their manifestos and when campaigning is something all of us will be eagerly looking out for ahead of polling day.